See, that song has been working since the 50s. I think I think that's when that song was originally recorded with Audrey Hepburn and Breakfast at Tiffany's, right? Well, we are going to see a new rendition of Moon River because this became highly requested by all the people who watched my first Jacob Collier video, which you can see right here. I'm going to have to be honest. It's going to be tough for Jacob to beat that first song. Even if this song is technically, harmonically put together better, it's still going to be hard to beat All Night Long. Because All Night Long is R&B, soul kind of song. That middle section in that first video that he created was freaking sick as hell with the breakdown, especially when he was on piano, like just rolling on that piano. It's going to be, and the video editing was, I think, the most impressive part of the last video. So maybe in this video, again, I'm just expecting or wondering because this was so highly requested by Jacob fans. Maybe this song is going to be good at editing still, but maybe it's going to be more over the top with the technical harmonization and the chords that he picks and chooses. Again, I always think there's a fine line when you get into like this genius level like Jacob has of finding the balance of not being too technical and not being technical enough, maybe, especially with songs that already have originals. So this is an original song that already has like its melody and he's covering it, doing his own kind of style. But if he goes too far into space and it gets away from the original kind of sound of the song, it might not tip the scale for me. But he's done awesome so far. So we're going to find out if Jacob's rendition of Moon River is as good as people say, because everyone in the requesting kind of comments about this song, this was basically the only other one that was requested. You got to see Jacob's Moon River rendition. It's amazing. It's out of this world. And we're going to find out. So let's go. Actually, before we listen to this, I'm kind of nervous because last week I got my first strike on YouTube, which I might make a video just about complaining about the whole idea of strikes, copyright strikes. But this is like an official video. Now, I didn't get a strike for the first All Night Long video by Jacob, but I did get a strike by NPR, which, by the way, there's any NPR videos, don't go watch them anymore because I'm going to boycott them for giving me a freaking strike for the Tower of Power song that I listened to. And I know Jacob has an NPR, the Little Tiny Office song or something like that. I got a copyright strike for that, so I'm hoping I don't get a copyright strike for this. Please. Love the sound of that chord already. Some of these faces I know. Oh, take six, take six. Take six. And that's the bass player. Cool editing already. Low note. Who the hell's singing that low ass note? Is that Alvin Chia? I bet it is. Chords are heavenly. He's staying with the original. He's going off a little bit, but he's staying with the original. Ooh, right there. Ooh, right there. Nice. I like that. Doo doo. It's got that such jazz element to it. Nice. I like that.
Crossing you in style someday. Oh, dream.
Ooh, that chord.
You heartbreak.
Don't be such a heartbreak.
Wherever you're going, I'm going you. Drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see.
That was a take 6 chord right there.
Waiting round bed by Huckleberry Friend.
Ooh, that was oddly sonic. That chord. Back to the major.
Wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday.
Oh, that was awesome harmony.
such a lot of such a lot of words to see.
Shit.
Where often the same rainbows.
I love that bass note that's changing just a little bit. That's setting the range. Crescendo. How's it gonna end? Resolve. That resolve is perfect. Amen. By the nature of the song, it definitely wasn't as R&B and funky, because that's not the nature of the song. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm a musical genius, because I'm not, especially when it comes to harmony, comes to theory. I can scratch the surface of theory. So this is going to take me several listens. I caught as much as I could in the first, but there's so much shit going on that, like, this is going to take several listens. And this is interesting because, again, this is in a different genre, but this is like the Dream Theater, the Rush of vocal work. Because for you vocal people, just like me coming over here to this side, you should try out some of the other videos on my channel, because especially like Dream Theater stuff, because they do what Jacob does in a musical instrument sort of way. They pull out and write things that are not normal, which calls it progressive. It kind of moves things along. It's not just taking the same old thing, doing it over and over again. And this now being the second reaction to Jacob's ability to compose. I've said this in the other video, which you should definitely go watch. After two songs, I'm already going to say this after two songs, he has taken the spot for me of vocal arrangement and like arrangement of songs and like the chord structure and the harmonies away from Take Six. Now, obviously Take Six is a group, he can't sing six parts. The reason they're above and beyond everybody else, as I've said before, is because they take these incredibly difficult harmonies and they pull it off live very, very well. And some of the middle parts, I had a choir teacher, shout out to JP, who I remember saying when I was in high school, he said some of their middle parts, like the baritone one and the middle parts harmonies, as a choir teacher who has an amazing ear, couldn't really sometimes pick out who was singing what, because they're so tight and so intricate. But at this point, Jacob has definitely taken what they do, because this is, I said at the beginning of the reaction, it's got that jazz element. So you're like in the Manhattan Transfer, the Take Six kind of composition of jazz harmonies, but he's also doing this to another level. Like, and of course he can be, I think a lot of it is because the technology that he has and his just brain is genius level. It's surpassing on a compositional scale more than anybody who's come before him. I mean, that's why he's called Mozart, small Beethoven. He's just setting a trend, setting a new way of looking at harmony. And I've already seen, so don't write this in the comments. I've already seen that he's got like a breakdown, just like he did with All Night Long. He's got a breakdown of the chords and stuff like that. That's why I said I don't pretend to know the suspended 5, 6, 8. I'm not that deep into harmony, but I can tell just by listening and knowing Take 6 and Manhattan Transfer and those types that I said before I listened to the song. My question is he going to be able to accomplish these compositional, like crazy different types of sounding chords and additives, but still kind of stay to the original? And the reason I'm saying this, and I hate saying this, I've already said Take 6 is my favorite vocal group of all time. But there, as an example to help you understand what I'm talking about of where this could go wrong, is I think Take 6 has a song that did not do a good job, even though the vocal harmonies were amazing and good and they thought outside the box, in my opinion, because it was a song that already had an original track, an original idea, an original melody. When they did their composition of that same song and put their kind of spin on it, they went too far out there that it left the original song, and therefore, in my opinion, I couldn't listen to it. And that song is Silent Night off of He Is Christmas. So if you aren't familiar with this Take 6 rendition of Christmas songs, there's Hark the Herald Angels Sing, they sing on there, and that is an example where they sing and they have jazz structure, a little bit different chord structure, but it sticks kind of to the original melody still, and it sounds good. But when they do like their rendition of Silent Night, it's the first song off the album. I can't listen to that song from them because I feel like it's just too far out there. So that's an example. Even though they're my favorite group, I can criticize them, and say some things that constructive criticism, in my own opinion, of something that I didn't like that they did. So far, Jacob's 2 for 2 for being able to establish harmonies and composition that pushes the boundaries, but doesn't push it so far that he loses his audience. That's the first thing, is that the reason this song is so good is because it especially at the beginning, stays with the original, and then it kind of goes off a little bit and has these like intricacies, and then it comes back again to reestablish. That's great. That's a great packaging, and I think that's doing justice to the original song. Take 6 does this with the Star Spangled Banner, and I will put a card up here for that. Their rendition of the Star Spangled Banner, they sing in unison for the first, minute of it, and then they break off into these harmonies that are just amazingly well done, and that's what this is. The packaging of the song is intricate and crazy, but it's also not so far that it loses the listener, in my opinion. The second thing that I would have to say about this that I love about Jacob, and he can do because of the technology that's afforded him today, that middle section and beyond, as he started to crescendo and crescendo and crescendo, that wall, I'm going to call it a wall of sound. If you go listen to my Devin Townsend reaction videos, in an instrumental way, Devin Townsend has just this wall of sound that's different than other bands. That he picks these chords that just envelop your soul when you're listening to it. This rendition at the end, especially when he's crescendoing, that wall of sound is almost like out of body experience when it's almost like the crescendo comes behind you like a big rush of wind, and you get caught up in the hurricane winds and just keep sailing and sailing and sailing with him, and it's heavenly. It's in a good way. It's almost, I don't want to say orgasmic, but it's almost orgasmic. It's just you just feel it in the depths of your soul because of the wall of sound that he creates with all the harmonies. It's fantastic. So I'm going to give Jacob an A+ for this one again. I would say just preference-wise, I liked All Night Long overall better because of the nature of the song. That's not a fault of Jacob at all. It's just some songs are going to sit well or more with other people than other people. And for me, I like R&B jazz or R&B funk and soul more than I would, old style jazz or whatever. So yeah, this was amazing. I'm obviously going to be listening to more of Jacob. So if you have any more videos that are kind of like this that you think are challenging or just as good, please comment below what those are. And I'm kind of in shock right now, so I don't know what else to say. But other than the fact that I have to go back and listen to this several times more to hear some of the things that are going on that I missed because I was hearing other things. It's just with intricate music, whether it's progressive rock or heavy metal, or whether it's vocal jazz like this or vocal harmony, when you've got technical kind of lots of sound coming in, it's impossible on a first listen to hear everything. So you got to go back, listen more, and those little gems will come out and reach out and grab you, I think. So I'm looking forward to that. As always, like and subscribe, stick around for more, and we'll be seeing you. Peace.